There is a proverb that says, if you enjoy your job, you will never work a day in your life. So that's a nice tip for living your life. It's nice to find a job that you enjoy, then it doesn't even feel like work. So for Monday's Lab, I hope you found that fun. I hope you found some enjoyment in it. One of the fun things about chemistry is we experiment with pretty colors, and you can generate some pretty colors. That's certainly interesting. It's nice when your education relates to what you're doing. The other day I went to the store, I was looking for hand sanitizer. It seems like everybody's out of hand sanitizer. Well, did you know there's a better way to fight germs than with hand sanitizer? Well, one of the best ways is just to wash your hands with soap and water. And a lot of stores are well stocked with soap. So, why does soap and water work so well in fighting germs? Well, that was the point of the lab yesterday, that water has a polar quality. And it's a little bit positive and a little bit negative, and it gives things a tug. So any germs or dirt that's on my hands, the water gives it a gentle tug and it comes off my hands and it goes into the water and then down the drain. So it's the polar quality of water that allows it to be so good at washing things. Anyway, let's do the opening, and then I have an extra credit assignment for you. Opening. Now that you've learned a lot about chemistry, what can you tell me about sodium carbonate? So pause the video, see what you can do just from your knowledge, and if you want to do a little bit of internet research after that, you can do that as well. Okay, we're back. What can you tell me about sodium carbonate? Sodium carbonate. Well, you know what sodium is, right? It's a metal. If you look at your periodic table, you will see that it is an alkali metal. So whenever we have a metal bonded to a nonmetal, we know it's an ionic compound. I don't need to look up any of that because I've been studying chemistry, and because you've been studying chemistry, you are expected to recognize that as an ionic compound. Now, carbonate, is that on the periodic table? You might need to take a look. That might take a while, but eventually you will see carbonate is not on the periodic table of elements. It's a polyatomic ion. So you can do a Google search, a Bing search of polyatomic ions, and you can find carbonate. But you will see that the formula for sodium carbonate is Na2CO3. So CO3 is the carbonate polyatomic ion. It's a covalent molecule, and it's going to bond with sodium, two sodiums, ionically. So this is both an ionic compound, and it also has a covalent bond in it. Sodium carbonate is a food additive used as an acidity regulator, anti-caking agent, raising agent, and stabilizer. And that's what I want us to think about today. I want us to think about chemicals that are added to food, maybe to make the food look better, or to regulate something, or to prevent it from caking up, or to make the food fluffier, have a nicer texture. A lot of chemicals are added to processed foods. And I'm going to invite you to do a food labels project. You do not have to do it. It's an extra credit assignment. Some of you were concerned about your test and quiz scores and wanted a chance to raise it. So I will count this in the quiz test category. It'll be worth a significant amount of points. So if you want to raise your quiz and test grade, this is a way to do it. It is an individual project, like any quiz or test. Absolutely no copying. This must be very original and very unique to you. But you can use the internet to do the research. In fact, you have to use the internet to do the research. So you have to pick a product. Don't pick blueberries because there's no interesting ingredients in blueberries except blueberries. Don't pick spinach. Pick something interesting, a processed food. So let's just look at Fanta Soda. So here is the can for Fanta Soda. This is usually the side that we look at, but I want to start encouraging you to look at the other side of products. Look at the fine print. Don't look at the big print. Look at the little technical details that are found in the back. But let's just look at the front real fast here. First of all, it's a nice, pretty orange color. And look at this message right down here. Orange soda, naturally flavored. Oh, that's what I like. I like to eat natural foods. And then look in this corner right here, 100% natural flavors. That just seems terrific. 100% natural flavors. So if it's 100%, I can't imagine they'd even have any room for any chemicals if it's 100% natural flavors. But let's flip the can over just to see if there's any chemicals in this whatsoever. I'm just picturing, oranges definitely, maybe some lime, maybe some lemon, but let's take a look. So first thing it says contains no juice. Oh, I guess there's not going to be any orange juice or lemon juice in this. Okay. We have our calorie information here, but I guess the ingredients are down here. Here we go. Here's the ingredients. Sweetened carbonated beverage, ingredients carbonated water, sugar, acidity regulator, stabilizers, permitted class 2 preservative. Well, I'm not seeing any orange or lemon or lime as an ingredient. Oh, in fact, here's a sentence right here, contains no fruit. Wait a second, did I read that wrong? Didn't it say 100% natural flavors? So that is a bit surprising, but I guess natural flavors aren't necessarily orange, limes, and lemons. I guess water could be considered a natural flavor, and salt could be considered a natural flavor. Maybe all the ingredients from a legal perspective can be considered natural flavors. Well, I don't like to feel tricked. I don't like to feel fooled, especially by a food or drink product, something I'm going to put in my body that's going to affect my health and affect the way my brain operates, affect my ability to sleep, my emotional state. I want to know exactly what I'm eating and drinking, and I hope you do too. So here's the ingredients. For the project, I want you to write down all the ingredients of the food or drink that you select, just like this. It doesn't have to be color-coded, but I want you to write all the ingredients, and I'll tell you something about labels. They always list the ingredients in order. So we know that the number one ingredient in Fanta Soda is carbonated water. They don't tell us what percentage of it is carbonated water. They don't tell us how many moles. They don't tell us how many grams. But we do know that there's more carbonated water than anything else. And the second highest ingredient is high fructose corn syrup. That's a version of sugar. So a lot of sugar in this. And then citric acid, whenever I see the word acid, that's kind of a scary thing. But citric acid is actually a beneficial acid. So that's the first ingredient that I'm seeing that has some benefit. And if you don't know what citric acid is, you can look it up. In fact, for your project, you're going to look up what all of the ingredients in your product are and what they do. So let's just pick one ingredient. I chose sodium polyphosphates. Sodium polyphosphates. And it says the functions performed by this food additive when used in cooking. I found this on the internet. It's an acidity regulator. It regulates acids, regulates the acidity or alkalinity of a food. It's an emulsifier, and I had to look that up. What's an emulsifier? An agent that forms or preserves a mixture of substances normally incapable of being mixed. For example, oil and water normally don't mix, but if you add an emulsifier agent, oil and water will mix. And that's important. When you open up your can of soda, you want all the ingredients mixed. You don't want some chemical rising to the top and others settling to the bottom. Sodium polyphosphate is a raising agent, a substance which increases dough volume by producing gas. It's a sequestrant. which is a substance which controls the availability of a cation. You know what a cation is, a positively charged ion. And then it's a stabilizer, a substance that maintains the uniform dispersal of substances in a food. And if I don't know what dispersal means, I can look that up on the internet as well. So you are expected to look up any words you don't know. You're expected to understand each of the ingredients. All right, then I looked up safety features of sodium polyphosphates. This food additive is illegal in the European Union. Well, it's legal in the United States, but illegal in the European Union. That's a little bit scary. I wonder why it's illegal. Sodium polyphosphates is sometimes used as a drug. It has been associated with side effects such as diarrhea, but its consumption might also expose you to other hazards such as organ damage. Now I see why it's illegal in some countries. The FDA, Food and Drug Administration, warns that you should never take more than one dose within 24 hours of over-the-counter sodium phosphate drugs. It can cause severe health risks, even possible death. I got that from a source pretty recent, August 14th, 2017. All right, so that's what's in Fanta Soda, and there's other ingredients that I'm not going to go over now, but here's the extra credit assignment. Select a food with chemicals in the ingredients. List all of the ingredients on the label. Research each ingredient and write about it. Look up any potential dangers of the ingredient and write about that too. Write the chemical formula for each ingredient. So if your food contains salt, you're going to write NaCl, which is the chemical formula for salt. And some of these ingredients you're going to have to look up. Some of them are pretty complex, so make sure you write it very accurately. Write if each ingredient is an ionic compound or a covalent molecule or both. Pick 3 ingredients and calculate and write the molar mass of each of the 3 ingredients. So maybe you're going to pick water as one of your ingredients, and you're going to write the molar mass of water. How much does 1 mole of water weigh in grams? Remember that your molar mass will always have the unit grams. So that's the extra credit assignment. Again, make it fun, make it interesting, and it won't even seem like work at all. The end.